Hi there, I'm Jillian from Greenland Garden Centre, and I have the absolute pleasure of joining you in this season's garden tours. And our first stop is here at Twila and Greg's home, and I'm super excited to introduce you to Twila and have you mesmerized by the creativity and the positive energy that spills in throughout this home and yard, and her personality.
So happy to be here and to show you our garden. It's a pretty young garden. We've only really been planting since 2016, but we have big dreams, and we like to just go for it. This is probably the most filled in part and one of my favorite parts of the garden. I sort of name all the sections, so I call this one Peace in the Valley. And here I'm struck by a lot of thoughts, like this used to be underwater. Here's a little McKernan trivia for everyone. We used to be underwater. There was a lake here, and it was drained. And like many homes, the first gen were 1950, which is what ours were. And you know, I often think about who was here before. Like we're on Treaty 6 territory, and all the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people who have come and gone, and it really resonates for me. So yeah, this is Peace in the Valley, and many beautiful plants. I'll start with one favorite plant, a showy milkweed that was grown from seed. This is the most showy that it's been since it's been planted, and I also have a baby this year, so that's very
exciting. Mm-hmm. There are so many stories about the plants. Where they've been collected, who has given them to you, how long it's taken them to grow.
Yeah, I think many gardeners would say, like, you get plants that you find or you buy, but people give you plants, and you know, as you work through your little zones, you're reminded of the person or a part of your life that was going on when that happened. So it's such a mosaic and a canvas, right? And a reflection, you know.
Absolutely.
So it's very powerful. It's like seeing someone's garden is seeing their dream, but it's also like a little monument to everything happening in
my
life.
Most special plants, I put little rings of petrified wood that we've collected around them, and they're named after the people who've given them or shared them with me. So that is definitely one of my favorite parts of gardening, for sure.
Oh my gosh, so great.
Yeah. So let's continue this tour.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go. So one of my favorite things is walking down the sidewalk, and then I come to this lovely boardwalk, or I believe you guys call this the dock.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, and these boardwalks and docks and catwalks lead you throughout this garden, and they've been created by your husband Greg.
Yeah, none of this would be here without Greg. He's done like so much hardscaping and putting a lot of vision into it. But yeah, and he is like a big fan of found objects or using other people's trash to make something out of. So these you'll see this section is two pieces side by side, and it's because it's cutoffs from a fence that the church just a block and a half away was building, and they were in the dumpster to be thrown away. So they didn't go to waste. We got a sidewalk.
And it's just fun.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And then they continue to be fun all the way.
That's right. Yeah, the other one is made out of our old fence. So
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we are on the area you call the catwalk, leading into your backyard. But what I find really lovely about this narrow space are all of the sort of found objects that are here, and how you've combined like Buddhas with a wheelbarrow full of pebbles and that little kitsch of a diamond.
Yes.
And I think it just reflects your personality so well.
That diamond, I have to explain that diamond. That's a little tongue-in-cheek action of how our garden is a little diamond in the rough. We're still, we're still creating it and building it, but yeah, there's a lot of significance.
So here we are in your lovely little lounge space. And what I love about being here is that I can lounge and everywhere I turn, there's something to look at. So the first thing that catches my eye is this wonderful old tree that I love to see is still standing. And I know you've had some interesting wildlife visit.
Yes.
Do you want to tell me about that?
Yes, indeed. So I was filling the bird feeder this winter and I had this feeling of being watched. And I looked up and there was a great horned owl sitting in there. It was there for the whole day. It was so spectacular.
Yeah, just mesmerizing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, I love your pots. I am a big fan of singular plantings, and I feel like these gladiolas in these big bowls look like bulrushes almost.
Yeah.
And then they're just going to blossom into something so spectacular and full. I just truly, truly enjoy that.
Yeah, I love them too. And this year I planted them, the bulbs 2 layers thick. I had read something on the internet just saying that they would hold each other up and not flop as much. And so I'm really excited to see that. And I always know when I see the little flower thing coming up. I feel like this back garden is a slow burn garden, like a really good song. Yeah. And so once I start to see that flower spike coming up with the glads, I know we're getting to the really good time of the summer.
The nitty gritty.
Yeah. So you know how you're in the garden, it's spring, you're thinking about how it's all gonna go. We just built this zone and I was thinking dahlias, oh my god, it's gonna be so hot, it's gonna be so lovely. I just want it filled with dahlias because that's my thing, hey? Yeah. In the garden. Like I've only been really gardening for, well, since 2016. But people would say Twila's thing is dahlias.
Yes.
So
that's what I would say.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I've got a dahlia, I got 5 dahlias, and another big dahlia.
I thought this whole thing was going to be about your dahlias, actually.
But you know what? Here we are on this garden tour, and I don't have a single dahlia. No, I think it's
lots of dahlia plants.
I do, but I have no flowers.
No.
But I think it's too hot for them.
Yes. Well, and I've heard a lot of people. The blossoming right now is not so good just because of that extreme heat. Yeah. So as the days cool, you may start to see some blossom. But think of all the potential.
Oh my gosh. You know, I just know. Wait till next year or wait till like the end of August before the frost. It's
yes.
It'll kick in.
It'll be the dahlia show. And I will come and join you
I
right here.
have one for you though.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's in a very like visually appealing location up in that corner by the eavesdrop.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know.
It is beautiful though.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Yes, it's true. So tell me about this purpley plant because I think it's so interesting and it's edible.
Yes, it is. And I used to just grow it strictly as an edible. It is red perilla or Japanese shiso. Okay. So it's used in inari sushi and other Japanese dishes. It has a really lovely flavor. But I love this plant. I love the texture of the leaf. I love it's kind of floppy and great. So I've started putting it in baskets and it's everywhere in my yard.
And is it super easy to grow?
It is. I have to start it inside. The red, I had red and green before. The red is easier than the green. Okay. Or I find anyway. Yeah.
Because I love adding that sort of shot of eggplant color into things. It's just such a nice deep color and you don't get to see it all that often. And some ligularias and bug banes and that sort of thing. But it's just, I just truly, truly like it. And I will come to your house and eat it because I probably won't grow it myself. There you go. Okay, so where to next?
Oh, speaking of eating,
yes,
I can show you my edible zone.
Okay, let's go check out the edibles.
Let's go check it out.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Oh my God. 1, 2, 3. So what is truly outstanding here is that you actually are very successful at container gardening. And do you want to explain where we are and what is happening here?
So this used to be just like a gravelly road crush parking zone.
Yeah.
And then we put the fence in last year with a double door. And then this spring, Greg and his friend paved this. I think it was May 9th or something. It was unbelievable. And then this raised bed, 2 raised beds here were actually one, and they used to be in the resort where we were just sitting. So this is all newly rebuilt and newly configured. I had a feeling things would be happy back here because it is so hot.
Yeah.
But these tomatoes next to the dark garage, like I never would have thought they would ever get that tall. I've never had tall tomatoes like that before.
Yeah.
And they're already loaded with fruit, which is a first for me. Like I always do okay because it is a hot spot.
Yeah.
But this is pretty nuts. And then like I have beans and I have leeks and onions and beets and carrots and melons. I have a melon growing in my cucumbers because I got my plants mixed up. Herbs, corn outside the gate, some potatoes in pots. So it's good. We call this zone the Maggie Meadows Cafe because Maggie is our dog that we lost this spring. And she was here for the build and she really liked it back here. She liked laying on the warm stones.
Yeah.
So it's a little nod to her.
Oh, thank you, Twila, so much for having us here. I really enjoyed my time. It's always just a special event being with you.
Oh, I feel the same. Yeah, it's really great. Thank you so much.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Tyler, we're gonna have snacks now. Nobody wants to see me stuff in my face. See you.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you.